Hello and welcome to another League of Legends video, and that's right, this isn't just for junglers but for all roles, because in this video I want to look at the truth about why you all throw games. And really that's position agnostic, because by the time you throw a game, usually there's some kind of macro going on. If you're in low elo, some kind of spaghetti, and the positions don't so much matter as what objectives are on the map that you need to secure and what the state of the game is in terms of what objectives are up, who's fed, who isn't, who's inting. Has your Soraka remembered to heal anyone yet? And for a while I've wanted to make this but struggled with the idea of how to put it all together. Thanks to the coaching streams I've been doing on Twitch and uploading to the gameplay channel, I have a few examples we can use, as well as some of my own games where I went into a variety of ranks to see how people behave differently. As such, I won't tell you the rank of each of the examples. I will go over them in a more coaching manner where I record myself in the replay, and then you can see if you guess correctly at the end of the video. So in an effort to bring you more educational content that's a bit more spontaneous and a bit more weird in nature like this, I hope you enjoy the video. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoy it and would like to see more like it. And of course, you can comment below to tell me which ones you guessed right in terms of the MMR they were played in. Right, so the first example we're jumping into here has a classic 1-3-1 setup. You've got a Fiora, full HP, just recovered from a fight pushing the bottom lane. You've got a nice, decently fed Cassiopeia, even though she's down a level on the Zoe, pushing top lane. And then you have the 3-man mid. Now the thing about this is you have to be very cautious about where the enemy team is, and you have to make sure you push identically to, the rest of your team. It makes no sense to push overly far over here because the enemy team is going to rotate upward. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that the Cassiopeia is most likely going to be pushed. At this stage, you've got 2 dragons to 0, 4 towers to 1, and a almost 5k gold lead. This means you simply need good macro in order to, actually win the game. Let's observe. Ulted, cleansed, 3v1'd, deaded. Mid lane on the other hand, this is great. You take the tower, you shove it up, you know now that you'll be collapsed from the top side, so we can simply flow on down. The issue I have is the following. The Fiora doesn't reset herself. You can easily set up Fiora split pressure when your team is positioned to capitalize. That means if she's split pushing here and they send 4 people to kill her, well then your team needs to be in position to either shove an inhib or take the Baron. In this case, most likely take the Baron. Because she doesn't pay attention to that, she overstays. We can speed it up. Okay, she's gonna die, I think. This is not one of the mysteries of the universe. Science has answered that question. She's dead. Because she didn't pay attention to the state of the game, and her team basically were forced to, reset after the Cassiopeia overcommitted, both split pushes caused the enemy team to get shutdowns, to get decompression on the macro pressure they were suffering, and forces the Lucian, Valkaz, and Ornn to not be in a completely different state of the game. They can't really do anything until now Fiora can apply that pressure again. That gold lead slowly closing. And now the Lucian and Valkaz are going to join. The Ornn also has a hand in this. So they basically think, okay, well, Fiora's dead. Everyone was bottom lane. I'll just push mid. You also see a TP coming in here. Now, we've gone from the blue team's vision because that's the team we're concerned with. But this could be dangerous because it's a Rammus. Yes, it's a Rammus top lane and Ornn jungle. It's a weird game. Here he comes. Speeding along, no respect by the Lucian. This is sort of a weird shot. It's like impending doom. The point more is that when you're mid lane pushing this, from the blue team's perspective, you cannot miss this TP that comes through. This has to spark something in your brain that says, all right, I'm getting home guard TP'd by the Rammus. Let me kite up into the fog of war where they won't have vision to the safety of my Cassiopeia who can help. Or you can alternatively go towards your Valkaz, who has the plant plus the Ornn ready. If this guy overcommits, you can 3v1. Wonderful. Dragon spawning within a minute. No, he overstays. There we go. Rammus is doing, good things. The Valkaz now rotates to try and save him. I'm not a fan of this. If this guy gets caught out, if someone gets caught out on your team, don't follow them to the ends of the earth. This isn't best friends for life. You don't need to, help them in the Sarlacc pit like Lando and Han Solo. This is just, you put yourself in a position to be flash taunted and killed because of your pathing for some reason from the safety of the jungle into the mid lane. Okay? Cassiopeia now basically tries to collapse, helping both of them, loses her Banshee's Veil. Ornn, on the other hand, decided, hey, let me go and also try and help. Ends up being caught out. While we were talking about that, the Cassiopeia died as well. And you think, well, how's that remotely possible? She lost her Banshee's Veil. She should simply disengage, run away, get to safety. No, she hangs around, she tries to fight, she waits for them to show up. Her ult doesn't do anything, she just gets collapsed on. No respect. And in that game, it was very easy for them to set up a 1-3-1, not overcommit, disengage together, secure the third dragon, reset, flirt with a soul or a Baron push. They had a wealth of options of macro at their feet, and they decided instead each person to make one mistake over pushing and not respecting the map, get caught out, and basically they just lost all momentum, all the shutdown gold, and they lost the game. You can see in the gold graph. Right, this second example here is vastly different, although it's basically a 1-3-1 in the reverse sense. Now, I don't know why a losing team in this case would have a 1-3-1, and you can see from the state of the game, you think, wow, 48,000 gold, 53,000 gold, Dragon Soul. You know, what is actually going on here? They got Baron, and they want to fight to get Baron, so the Dragon Soul doesn't really mean anything at this point. I mean, it's still an impact in the fights and so on, but the macro about how they use this Baron and the gold lead is how they will close out. Now, the thing is, when you're looking at the map like this from the red team, you have to acknowledge, right, we have to wait for our support before we can do anything. Secondly, we saw the Ahri pushing on the top side, okay? She's obviously going back to base because she didn't show up here. We also see the Wukong facing the Ezreal on the bottom side. So basically, you're thinking, right, you know, the bottom lane on the red team certainly has the advantage. We simply have to take this tower, okay? Nice and easy. Wait for the Nautilus, and we can easily win a fight 4v4. You also have the Prior from the Wukong here, who has TP, able to actually get into the fight. There are vision controls and minions that he can use. On the other hand, you know, this guy doesn't have TP, and again, 125, absolutely useless. What happens is that the Echo leaves his team, joins with the Monkey King to try and kill the Ezreal. That is a horrific decision. What's going to happen, do you think, in this situation once Echo disappears? And they saw the Echo disappear, right? He walked away right in front of them. What do you think that the blue team's going to do when they see this occur? I don't know about you, but I would just, you know, engage 4v3 and win the game. I mean, you have Soul, you've got a really heavy fed member. The Echo just randomly disappeared. And you can see from the blue team's perspective, look at what they see. Ahri's about to join her team. They see that the Echo's disappeared. They're going to use this window to have a good fight, which, you know, I hope they do. Boom, there's the Malphite ultimate. Two-man target. Onto the Zai, who's forced to withdraw. The Nautilus now is basically just, okay. Yeah, he's dead. The Zai gets exhausted and she's dead. And on the bottom side, you've got Echo and Wukong trying to 2v1 an absolutely useless ADC. You had a momentum swing in the game. You had total control with the Baron, with the ability to actually make a play, a macro play, either 0-for-1 or 1-3-1, just brute force it down the mid lane as a 5-man, let the Wukong TP flank, let the Wukong simply rotate, and you can take control. But they didn't do that. And on the other side of the coin, if we look at this, now yes, the Echo has ditched you. If you are this group of 3, the Echo ditched you, but you have both sums up. You have Flash and Ignite up. There's no reason that you should get hit by a Malphite ultimate. Here he goes. Let's try and get this in slow motion as I can. Right, here he goes. You have more than enough time to react to flash this, and both of you could have done it. Xayah and Kindred. Once you do this, if they overcommit, now the only reason they do this engage, right, is because they see the Echo. That's huge. This is horrific mispositioning by the Echo, and it causes them to engage thinking, hey, free. But at the same time, the Echo should not have shown. He should have been very patient in this bush, because basically if these two flash away, the Malphite misses his ult, you can flank here with the Echo, you can flank with the Wukong, who's of course off the map, they don't see the Wukong, and now you have a 5v4 fight, and you should be able to win the game. Okay, the next example of a throw isn't something that's late game or necessarily focused on the sort of gold swing, although it is imperative. As you can see in this game, the Volibear has done very well, 6-0-2, way ahead of the Hecarim, who hasn't done much. Enemy top laner, or enemy red team's top laner is 3-1, and you've got the Camille at 4-7. That's a huge gold difference, right? Now what you're noticing here is that the Garen mid lane, while he isn't exactly doing the best work that has ever been seen on the Rift, he is at least existing. And you know, as Garen, that's all you really want sometimes. Now the problem here is the following. The Jinx is decently far ahead and doing quite well. The Volibear does a good job here of getting a kill on the Morgana, as you just saw, has Herald locked up. Now what do you think he should do after this? My initial gut reaction is, hey, let's look at the map. We've got here a blue buff spawning, a Yasuo who's not full HP, a Hecarim who's basically, you know, he has 6 limbs, but this guy's playing like he is 1. His stick is a pogo stick, you could say that as well. Scuttle Crab, and an overpushing Jinx with a dead Morgana. So, why don't we simply look for a play that allows us to kill the Jinx, that allows us to invade and steal all his jungle, that allows us to Scuttle Crab, gain control for the next dragon, which will be the second, and of course maybe even get some plates on the bottom side, which gets your bottom lane back into the game. The worst thing you can do here is overcommit on this Herald drive. We simply use this to get plates. You will get another that you can use for a proper long team push, but now isn't exactly the time. And now instead goes for the fight. He basically goes way too deep under tower range. E misses, so that's a long cooldown that's down. The Garen is just a fidget spinner that does no damage. You try and peel for him, but it doesn't matter, he's dead because he hadn't gone back to base. And now because you're using a very squishy build, you're also dead, and you just gave them 1,000 golds with the shutdown. So the Yasuo, who wasn't exactly in the best position, is now, well, he was 1,000 gold ahead, but now he's 2,000 gold ahead. That's a huge swing that not only gives plates to the Hecarim, it also buys time for the Jinx to wait for her Morgana. I mean, she's mid lane, but it also gives them prio and everything else. Now, could you go ahead, respawn, get the dragon, still take control? Of course, you're still ahead in gold, but you've lost all tempo. And that's the biggest thing about these kinds of games. You cannot afford to lose the tempo of a game when you are the most fed one, and then give that gold to someone else, and then let the Jinx get away free. That is the worst thing you can do, and actually, even though you don't think that it makes you throw the game, it really does, because instead of spending all your resources on the dragon and on the side lanes, now you have to spend resources stopping this dive, which you can anticipate is going to happen just looking at the HP and the nature of the map. You lose your jungle camps, and now you've lost purpose. You've lost the control of the map that was allowing you to continue to snowball. So the next example, I gotta bring you some Zyra jungle, because obviously people get tilted when you bring something out like this, and I don't know why, because it obviously works very well. You know, not objectively, but if the person is doing well with it, it really shouldn't be of concern to you that it's a Zyra jungle. You should just play the game. Nice double kill catch here in a very equal game. Sorry, the scoreboard wasn't showing. Let me bring that up for ya. There you go. So it's a very equal game. And the Zyra and the Darius make a pick here, overcommitment by the blue team, and essentially now it can just two-man the Baron. Yes, you're losing pressure on the bottom side and the mid side, but given the nature of the teammates, I feel like this was the right call in the moment, and we're able to slowly secure that. And now you might find these kind of games where you have gold graphs that look like this. Basically, we made the pick, you are wearing the 1v9 pants, you force one of your teams who isn't acting like a complete baboon to get a Baron, and basically you're going to drag the rest of your team across the finish line. All you're looking to do now, good basic macro, whatever your team composition dictates, whether it's team fighting, 1v1, 0-for-1s, or so on. If you get a pick, make it. You know, the Lux there, you know, brilliant ultimate, excellent, highly accurate. And now this is where things go wrong, and they go wrong in so many games that I've seen coaching. We have a Baron, we just managed to kill most of their team, they're not able to contest us. Let's go do the dragon. It's warded. You don't know that as red team. So you'd have to look and to see who has scanner available, who has control wards available. Unfortunately, the Pyke does and no one else does. So, you know, you won't be able to see that ward. So Zyra, I'm saying, hey, let's 100% go to the dragon. I don't know what these two are doing. You cannot do this. This is tunnel vision throws. But yeah, this, you know, I was actually struggling to come up with a name, but there you go. Tunnel vision throws. Why? What? You know, there's no wave now. He's clearing the wave. It's Ziggs. What are you gonna do? Lucky. Lucky. Very lucky. Oh, Yasuo says, okay, yeah, Quinn's up. We weren't watching the spawn timers. Everyone's dead. The Zyra is on the dragon here. I'm on the dragon. I can say I because it is me. If everyone just goes to this dragon is dead already, despite the fact that the TP is coming through. You can't see the animation, but it is coming through on the minimap. And now there's nothing you can do. And obviously I just die. So that's, no, maybe I should just leave, but that's my own stubbornness. That's not necessarily a cause for the throw. The cause for the throw is, even though we're sort of winning the game, doing well, their team is excellent at stalling. We're gonna need Barons, we're gonna need Elder Dragons, we're gonna need Souls in order to close. In this moment, when it's a 3-for-2 in your favor, simply disengage, take their jungle, whatever's up. You know, nothing in this case, a little bit of Raptors. Go to this dragon very, very quickly, secure it for your soul point, deny the Ziggs that any more AP infernal damage. We do not need to give that to him, and win the game with good macro afterwards. Do not tunnel vision on these tower dives that really gain you absolutely nothing. When you win a fight, ask yourself what's the next objective, not what's the next kill. So again, we're gonna bring out the Zyra in this second to last example, except of course in a different game, but you've got a super inhib pushing down, super minions pushing down, excuse me. You have people taking this crab, preparing vision for the third dragon that's going to be spawning, but you have the Darius, who's still topside, who did not back with his team. You have the Ezreal, who did not back with his team, and that could be down to maybe needing certain item spikes. I mean, you can have a look at the gold here again, the Magi stacks were doing pretty well. He's got 2k, he doesn't really need to bag for an item, so he was greeding to stay out. If you don't need to stay out for an item, simply set up the wave in a favorable position that it slow pushes for your team, reset and join them. If you don't have anything to buy, get parts, get control woods. In his case, 100% go back and buy. You got a lot of gold for the next fight, although he should have done it already. Do not do the following. Do not trap. This happens so much. You get a nice momentum shift, you're setting up for the next objective, everyone overstays or has the wrong back timings. Ezreal, Darius, like why are you top lane when the dragon is going to be spawning and it's a crucial third dragon? But do not do what this talent does, flash in with full summoner spells up, miss everything, and die. You can be the tank, you can be the support, you can be the mid lane, the jungle. I don't care who you are. This is a bad trap. Their whole team is ready to fight for this dragon. This guy overstayed top lane, and the Ezreal finally went back to base to spend his gold. Your mid lane now is completely decompressed. Instead of looking to sort of make sure this is all pushing in your favor, you sit in the bush and you flash in knowing that your team cannot follow you. You are not the primary engage, you are an assassin, you flank. And then this final example, we've got a more normal team comp, a nice 2 inhibitors down. It's a long fought battle, 3 dragons to 3, 10 towers to 4. You've got a decent gold lead at this stage, although it's pretty much negligible depending on who has the gold. The last thing you want to do, and this is very important, when you have games like this, please don't overcommit to triangles. You need to, you've been fighting for 38 minutes. There's no need to hit this long-range bullet. Doesn't matter who you are, ADC, Malphite, Nautilus, a crazy Teemo main. Don't hit this and then ult in. What are you looking at as Kaiser here? You've got the super minion wave here with Baron. You've got a super minion wave here that was just cleared with Baron. So why go in now? The minions are not with you. The force is not with you. Nothing is with you. So all that's going to happen is you're forcing your team into a fight they're not ready to take, and you are forcing the enemy team to react. And now basically you're rolling the coin flip. And that's kind of what I wanted to get to. In these late games, when you have these team fights that occur like this, don't become the coin flip. Don't say it's coin flip because your team didn't do their jobs. Look at what happens. She drags her whole team in, Echo hits a beautiful stun. Yes, the Morgana dies, but is it worth killing the Morgana when you could have just waited for these supers to join you? Instead, the Kaiser turbo engages forces with no mini wave. Bad team fighting. The Echo dies, but hits a 3-man stun. This allows the Zed to engage on the backline. Zhonya's is activated, and this whole time, Lucian and Ashe are DPSing with no repercussions. The Camille here now basically realizes this and tries to turn, has to use a stopwatch. The Kaiser super low got ulted by the Zed, right? Oh no, she didn't get ulted, but she's dead anyway, so it doesn't really matter who got ulted. You've got the backline Kiana low HP. You've got here the Lux is still alive. The Warwick now, against 2 marksmen, is just going to get really heavily kited, as is the Camille, especially when resources are down. So we can see that in sort of real time. Good night, my sweet prince. Lux is alive doing e-girl things, waiting for more skins, and lives. But that's it. Now you're gathering around the Dragon Soul point finally at 40 minutes. What a fiesta this game was. And it's all going to come down to teamfighting again. The Warwick goes in, basically good black shield, doesn't do anything. The Kiana's down here. The Camille is down here with the waves. Why are we engaging? No one is in position to follow, to help basically fight front to back properly, to burn some of the spells, to do anything of use that allows you to win the fight. These are complete teamfight throws because of not having patience at using their lead. And that's one of the biggest things, because now the Zed can go in with no issue. The Lux should die. Okay, ult doesn't really do anything. The Warwick dies. The Kiana now flanks, but it's basically a 3v1. That's a nice ult. And the Kaiser's gonna go in on it, but you have to ask yourself, should I? Doesn't look too bad at the moment, but the problem is, as you see, the Lucian's damage is slightly unnatural at the end of the game, and that's it. You force your team to fight a bad fight, no patience whatsoever, and wasted the huge advantage you had at 38 minutes, and that's how you lose. So you would have seen a whole bunch of different ways that people threw, either through impatience, not understanding the macro plays, stubbornness, overcommit, not timing their back timings, forcing bad team fights, or simply having tunnel vision on the enemy. And you can see on screen now the different elos that the examples were. You can let me know if you got any of them right, or if any of them actually surprised you. Either way, I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Don't forget to like, share, and comment if you did. Make sure to have a look at the other videos on release and also the coaching gameplay channel if you like this more informal coaching nature. Don't forget to head to the Patreon to support the content further, as well as to the Twitch page to watch the stream. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.